moving on to Arsenal, there's so much news around.
I'll get my cigarettes out. Jesus Christ. It was going so well for 38 minutes.
And I'm going to start with Declan Rice, because I think that's the biggest trending news today. We're going to get into Lavia and the others later. But Arsenal's bid of 90 million, 75 plus 15, has been rejected today. They're saying it went in today, rejected today. I've heard from a few West Ham sources that I've been speaking to privately. It was a few days back, but that's splitting hairs. It doesn't matter. It's happened. But Arsenal were looking like they're going to move and go back in with a third and improved offer of 90 plus 10. So £100 million total package, which will be a club record proposal for the 24-year-old England international. Looks like it's getting a lot closer to happening. We know that he's agreed with Arsenal. All the West Ham sources have said he's told other clubs he wants Arsenal and Arsenal only. What's your take on this? And do you think you'll be getting him soon, Lee?
Why didn't we just bid the money in the first place? We knew what they wanted. We're going to end up paying them 100 million, whether that's with add-ons or without add-ons. It's 100 million. We knew this. We've known this for months. Yeah, they want the money up, or a large part of the money up front. Yeah, according to all the big tier ones. I don't understand what a tier one is. Yeah, but a tier one.
David Ornstein and Fabrizio are tier one.
Oh, okay. Well, based on them two then. They've both come out and said that they want a large percentage of the money up front. They're looking for 100 million. Yeah, or it'd be a little bit cheaper, plus a player. But at the same time, David Ornstein did say back in January, 75 to 85 million gets him. Well, that's not the case, because now, fast forward 6 months later, he's won the Conference League. His stock's even higher. Yeah, he was the captain of that team that's won that Conference League. So now the money's gone up. And not only that, yeah, if you're West Ham, you want to milk as much money out of your main boy as you can. Yeah, but at the same time, Terry, we have all known it's 100 million. We've all known that. You've done videos on it. I've done videos on it. People in the chat know how much it is. So the fact that we've gone in with an 80 million, that got rejected. Then we've gone in with a 75 plus 15, and that's got rejected. And now we're apparently going to go in with the 100 they want, and it'll probably get accepted. Why don't we just pay the 100 and stop all this BS? Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, I know you want to try and get a player and save a few quid here and there, but if he is your number one target and you genuinely think that that player can elevate your team, and he's already given the green light, they're happy for him to go, you've agreed terms, he only wants to stay in London, he only wants to Arsenal, he's given his word, all of this and that, you've got a starting position for him and potential future captaincy, yeah, because he is captain of West, potentially you could be the captain of Arsenal, blah, blah, blah. You've sold him the dream. He's down for the dream. What is taking so long, and why would you try to lowball twice when you're eventually going to end up paying what they want anyway? Why waste 4 weeks doing that? Because in that 4 weeks, he's now got his mindset, bang, I'm going Arsenal. Arsenal fans, the football club, everyone invested in around Arsenal now know, right, Declan Rice is in, bosh. We have now got a top player in midfield next season. Yeah, now let's progress on that. That gets the fan base buzzing. It gets the hierarchy buzzing. They've closed a massive deal, a club record fee. Declan Rice can go on holiday with his family, knowing that his future's secured. Instead, he's going on holiday later this week, apparently. Yeah, what, are we going to respect his holiday now?
So I understand.
Come on, just pay the money.
I understand that logic of just pay the money, okay? But typically, most clubs, because West Ham will do this when they try and buy Paulinho, sorry. You've got Chelsea that have done it. You know, we've just been praising the business attributes of Chelsea. Their first bid for Caicedo was 10 million less than you bid in January, as an example.
No, it's nobody reported that until the other day.
No, I understand that. It doesn't always come out. But equally, Man City, best in the business. Would you say best rugby club in the country?
All day long.
They've bid an amount of money for Kovacic, which has first been rejected by Chelsea. They're now about to put
the difference is.
Hang on, let me just finish my point. They're about to put their third bid in for the player. Now, I understand you wanting him. You want to take him off the market. But it's about reading. And one thing I would say, Lee, about so many football fans now, we've become, like, I love Twitter. Twitter's a great place to get what I call base information. You've then got to go and read the full articles. The amount of these credible West Ham outlets that have been so spot on before, you know, ex-West Ham employee, Claret and Hugh, these guys have been so spot on about a lot of things well before the mainstream journalists. they've all said in all their blogs, as much as City and Man United and Chelsea want him, this kid has told everybody around that he wants Arsenal. So Arsenal are currently in a really privileged position where they don't feel the pressure of other clubs breathing down their necks. I believe it's West Ham, by the way, who are pushing out the news of the Man Uniteds and the Cities.
Of course they are.
Coming in close to force you. Now, at the end of the day, you may end up paying what you decided to pay in the first place, but I would still rather my club try and get a better deal than just pay the asking price instantly. Because if you just do that all the time, you set a precedent that you'll always.
You're not going to do it all the time. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's the point. You're doing it for a player that's going to be a first-team player that's very rarely injured, if ever. He's going to play nearly all the league games, if not all of them. He's going to help you in the Champions League. He's got leadership because he's West Ham captain. He's just led them to a European trophy, their first trophy in 43 years since we were both born, Terry. We've never seen West Ham lift a trophy until now. Yeah, his stock's up here. I understand West Ham want to milk that, and I understand they're putting out.
Hang on a minute. I need to interject you. You've definitely seen West Ham lift a trophy. You're old enough.
Into Toto Cup.
What year were you born?
82. They won the
cup in
1980 against Arsenal.
No, they did. You're right. Sorry.
I'm not about old, mate. Come on, I'm not 43.
Sorry.
They won the Toto in 99, I think. But come on, is that counting? Yeah, but at the same time, you're not doing that for every player. Like, look, I'll give you an example. Jude Bellingham. Liverpool fans were adamant he was going to Liverpool. Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham's interview, I heard it the other day. He said that when they came to my house, met my parents and blah, 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 they weren't manipulative. They weren't sitting there trying to coerce me into coming to the club. But when Real Madrid come in, they come in. We didn't hear about all of this up and down and third, fourth, fifth bid and all this rubbish. And bang, 103 million euros. We're actually going to sign Declan Rice for more money than Jude Bellingham went for. I personally believe they're similar players, but different. They complement each other very well for England, yeah? Both of them together are brilliant. But bang, they've got it done. Why? Because they have the pull of the football club. And this is what West Ham are waiting for. If Man City come in for Declan Rice, he is going to Man City. And they are hoping that Man City come in and go, there's the money. Right? And you say about he's given his word and he only wants London and all that. Well, we had all of this with Mudryk, mate. Yeah, and then all, out of nowhere at the 11th hour, Chelsea come in and go, there's the money, have it all. Yeah, have it all and we'll double his wages or add a third to the money or for the wages or whatever. So it's all well and good that the player's given his word. And Terry, you know how football works. You've worked in football finance and all of that, yeah? Right? These players will agree terms with 2, 3, 4, 5 clubs.
I understand that.
Right? Yes. So just because he's given his word to one club, well, he's agreed personal terms with 2 or 3. I'm not saying Rice has done this. We don't know. But if there's 2, 3, 4 clubs in for Declan Rice, he would have agreed terms with all of them. Unless he's gone, well, actually, I don't fancy living in Germany. Yeah, actually, blow that one out of the way. Like, we don't want that one. Yeah, but if Man City come in, yeah, and let's not forget, his dad is his agent. Yes. Yeah,
oh, right? Sure.
His dad's his agent. He's probably hoping as well that his son ends up playing for a top team, which he will because his stock's high. It's only going to be a top team that gets him, yeah? But his dad's probably also hoping that he ends up at a club where his son's going to be super successful. So it's all well and good playing for Arsenal. It's all well and good going to Liverpool. It's all well and good going to Chelsea. But Man City are the market leaders in Premier League football right now. They win everything. League Cups, Champions League now, trebles. They're on for a 4-peat next season. Like, do you know what I mean? If Man City come in for him, I'm not saying I think we'll get him. Yeah, I didn't think this weeks ago. Yeah, but I do think we'll get him. My point is, if you're going to end up paying the money, right, and you're in contact with his agent, surely Edu and the hierarchy at Arsenal know whether there's other clubs in for him. Because his agent will be going, well, listen, Man United have bid, or they've agreed to Man City. Agents do that, Terry, whether it's family members or not. You know that how it works. It's a snide, backhand, underhanded business, yeah? His dad will want the best for his son, right? If it's an agent that's not family related, maybe it's different. We've seen this with, it was the lad that played for Sunderland. I watched it on Sunderland until I die, and then he went to France. What's his name? I think he was Saka's agent. Maybe he still is. Yeah, but he didn't give a shit about that lad. Yeah, he just wanted the most commission. Yeah, but if it's your dad wants to see you win the major honours, and he wants to be proud, and that's my boy. Right. So if Man City do come in, and West Ham will be putting this out, yeah, maybe his dad's putting this out about Man City. Yeah, we've seen Fabrizio saying Man City are looking to make a bid this week. we've just sat here and said he's tier 1, right? Ornstein said last week, Man City are looking for updates. Well, where are the updates coming from? Are they coming from West Ham themselves and David Sullivan, or are they coming from his dad? So everyone's getting updates on this, but if we're going to end up paying the money eventually anyway, why don't we just get it done now and get this BS out of the way?
I do understand that train of thought. Nip it in the bud, get it over the line, get out of the water in case the big blue shark comes. John here, who's a City fan though, says I don't get the outrage from Arsenal fans. We've been negotiating for Kovacic for 2 weeks. It's normal. If anything, the intent, ambition they are showing is very serious. I think they will challenge us again. Relax.
The difference with that is Man City don't necessarily have to. The same with Real Madrid. These are two of the elite football clubs on the planet that have an elite mindset, elite mentality, and have the trophies. And I wouldn't say the history so much with Man City, but they're making history as we're living in it. Yeah. Whereas Real Madrid, you've only got to do the tour of their stadium. Like, it's just ridiculous. But when them two clubs come in for you, Man City are probably thinking, well, we can lowball Chelsea a little bit because we can bully Chelsea. Yeah. And we can get Kovacic for 5-10 million less because Kovacic a force a move because we're the champions, we're the treble winners. Yeah. Whereas with Arsenal, we ain't won a title for 19 years. We ain't won in Europe for 29 years. And we ain't won a single trophy for 3 years. So we're not in any position, in my opinion, to be lowballing and bartering when there is a club like Man City that could just come in and go, there's 100 million, mate. Whereas with Kovacic, they can say, well, we're the treble winners, mate. You coming or not? And then he has a decision, hands a transfer request in and forces the move. I don't see Rice doing that to West Ham.
Sorry, no, I understand that. There's two questions here that say the same thing. First one from Brian. So thank you very much, Brian, for the super chat. It's also followed up here by Elite. This is Lee, mate. If we bid 100 million straight up, they would have demanded 120. It's called negotiation. And that is a very...
I've worked in sales, direct sales for 20 years. Yeah, I know negotiation works. Like, come on. You phone, like, we know what the price is. David Sullivan, what's the price? Yeah, the price is 100 million. We're not accepting anything less than 100 million. So if we bid 100 million, Mr. Sullivan, are you accepting the bid? Because we'll put the money in now. We want the player. If he gets 100 million put on the table and then starts playing silly buggers, tell him jog on and go and get Caicedo then. Yeah, now you've left him there. Nobody else has apparently bid for him yet. Cool, see you later. Yeah, that's how you... Come on, Tel. You know how it works, yeah?
No, I understand.
We'll pay the money, but if you want to do that, raise it 20 million after we've paid what you've said, you've gone back on your word. Cool, we're going to get Caicedo then. And we're getting 20 million cheaper than what you want for Rice. Now you've told West Ham jog on the number of a player that don't want to be there.
But the number, I understand where you're coming from, and that is a tactic that you could also employ. But if your number one target is Rice, and then you end up doing that, you then put yourself in the bluffing hand because then you're the ones who are bluffing. And
we're the ones with the money.
I understand, but then you're the one who's bluffing.
You're now left with a player that's rejected 200 grand a week, as you've openly said as the chairman of that football club that he is leaving, and we've allowed him to leave. We had an agreement with him.
For the right money.
Said that online, officially to the mainstream.
For the right money. But they're always going to put the price.
So find out what the right money is.
I had a colleague once, but you do that by you bid lower and you work your way up rather than bidding too high.
When you go into someone's house to sell them a product, i.e. double glazing, one of the first questions you ask is, what's your budget? Yeah, it's the same principle in this, right?
But you know it, exactly. Exactly. Hang on a minute, but you're the seller there. You're the seller. Exactly. And if you come to me to sell me double glazing, which is what I know you used to do, if you tell me what my budget is, my budget might be 30 grand, but I'm going to tell you it's 20 grand because I want you to give me the cheapest deal possible. If I just go 30 grand, you'll try and bump me up to 35 grand to see if you can stretch me and get more commission.
I know if you're telling me 20, your budget's not 20, it's going to be 30, and we'll probably deal at about 25, 28.
Exactly. If I say it's 30, you might be able to push me up a little bit higher by that same logic. Now, so I agree with what that super chat says.
It's a game of cat and mouse. Yeah, David Sullivan wants the most money for him, but at the same time, I had a friend I worked with. We worked in a bank together, and he went. He went to the directors and said he wanted a big pay increase. Now, we were all on good salaries. Like the lowest person in our department, the base salary was like 90,000. He was on a bit more than that. I think it was about 110. And he wanted 180 a year base because of all the business he brought in. But he said, this is how I hope this guy's doing well. I'm sure he is. But this guy had so much front, but he had to bluff. He said, if I don't get it, I will hand in my resignation. They said no to him because they thought he'd just walk away. They offered him 135 and he said no.
he handed his resignation there to walk away. He had to go through his bluff because he's like,
Yeah.
I can't let the industry know. But in the end, it took him. I remember chatting to him. It took him about 18 months to find a job on the same money he walked out
Yeah,
for.
but guess what?
You
He,
have
he,
to be
he
careful.
he kept
You
his
can't be careful.
principles. He kept his principles. Yeah, and guess what? He's probably now got more than that doing the job anyway at another company. I'll give an example, Terry. Right?
Maybe.
I'll give an example. Yeah, like if you've got your car up for sale, you just bought a new car, right? Yeah, I'm not going to ask how much you paid for it. It's none of my business. But let's assume that the car was, say, 20 grand, for example. Yeah. I know it's probably more than that, right? But let's say 20 grand. You put that car up for sale on Auto Trader. And I phone up. Hello, is that Mr. Flewers? You've got your car for sale on Auto Trader. Yeah. I'd like to come and see it. So I come up and see it. Yeah. And I offer you 14 grand. You're just going to laugh me out of town. And then somebody else comes up and says, well, I'll give you 18 grand for it. You're probably going to take 18 grand because you're thinking, well, they're the only two people that have called. Do I wait a week, another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks, and nobody else is interested? And then I think, what do I do? This is West Ham with Declan Rice. We have gone in with 14 grand, and now we've gone in with 15 grand, essentially, yeah? If we go in with 18 grand, we get the player. It ain't difficult. Get us close to 100 million, yeah? Without these 15 million stupid add-ons, which one of them will probably be win the Premier League, win the Champions League, yeah, win player of the season for the Premier League. They're stupid add-ons. We know how Arsenal work, mate. Yeah, Granit Xhaka plays so many games every season because it's in his contract. He has to play 32 games a year if he's fit. Bellerin had 30 games in his contract. I know this for a fact. Yeah, some of these stupid clauses and things. Yeah, West Ham was sitting there going, they ain't won a league for 19 years. What makes them think they're winning it next year or next year or next year? Yeah, so Sullivan's rightly sitting there saying, this is our player. He's still contracted technically for 2 years. Yeah, why are we going to sell for 75 plus 15? Give us 100 million, you can have the player. But then if we then go and call their bluff when we probably know no other team has bid for him because we're in touch with his agent every day, yeah, which I'm assuming we are, yeah, go and stick 100 million on the table. If they say no, say see you later then.
I get that.
Now what?
This